A water stain can appear on a wall or ceiling for various reasons, including damp from condensation or because of an adjacent leaking pipe. There are 2 simple steps to cover over a water stain.
As we can see, you have a water stain on this particular wall. The reason we have this stain is that there was a leak from the property upstairs. Now, the leak has been rectified and the stain is now dry, as we can see, so it's now ready for blocking. Because it's a water stain, if you put a water-based paint on this, it will simply come through. What we used to do is put something like an undercoat paint, which is an oil-based paint, and then we would paint over the stain and allow that to dry. Now, that can take maybe 2 hours to dry. So what I use is this stuff here is a spray stain block. This will dry off in 10 to 15 minutes. It will cover all the areas, the nooks and crannies, and make sure that the stain is completely covered. Okay, before we begin, we need to put our masks on. This is a fume-based paint, so we need to make sure that we're safe before we begin.
Thank you.
Next thing we want to do is we want to get the tin from the distance of the wall where our stain is, roughly 10 inches, to make sure it's a nice even finish. And then we just spray. Any difficult bits or any stubborn parts of the stain we may have to go over a couple of times, but that's all it is. Keeping the same distance. As you can see now, our stain has disappeared. Leave that for 10 to 15 minutes and it's ready to paint. Okay, we've left our stain block for 15 minutes to make sure it's dry. We'll just check that. Yep, that's nice and dry. And now we are ready for painting. Now load up my roller.
And what kind of paint is this?
This is normal water-based household paint that you use around the house, be it ceilings or walls.
So we wouldn't need to use the oil base because we've already used the stain block?
Absolutely, yeah, because we applied that earlier. That's now dry. I can now quite happily paint this cupboard knowing that the stains won't return.
If you're worried about covering a water stain yourself, ask your family and friends if they're able to give you a hand. Or contact your local handyperson service. If you're elderly, vulnerable or disabled, they may do the work at a discounted rate. You can find your local handyman at www.foundations.uk.com or phone our customer service team who can check for you on 0300 456 9996 or use a qualified tradesperson. You can find a tradesman at www.checkatrade.com or www.yell.com.